Welcome to the first ever daily game where I catch you up on what happened in gaming in the last 24 hours. And thanks for being here, especially before PlayStation remasters my show in a few years. Now, let's get right into it. VGC discovered a Taiwanese rating for the Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. No details, but it wouldn't be too surprising to see this ship with both story expansions packed in. We'll just have to wait and see. The Crystal Dynamics survey regarding Legacy of Kain was discovered, asking respondents questions to determine if they've ever heard of the franchise, along with asking how they prefer a new entry in the series, single player, multiplayer co-op, multiplayer PvP, and asking if they prefer a series reboot, an enhanced remaster, or a remake. Now, I'll save Crystal Dynamics some time and just tell them the correct answer, which is, of course, a remake of Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. That's all we need. It looks like the next Need for Speed is set to be revealed soon, as EA took to Twitter to tease it alongside a new profile picture and banner. Giant Bomb reporter Jeff Grubb confirmed on his podcast last week that Need for Speed Unbound was set to be announced this week and will be coming out this year, specifically December 2nd, according to Insider Gaming. Rumors say the next Need for Speed is multiplayer focused around meetups, will take place in a fictionalized version of Chicago called Lake Shore City, and feature a realistic art style mixed with anime cartoon visuals as seen in this pretty short clip that leaked last month. Nintendo launched the official website for its new animation studio, Nintendo Pictures, which is the result of the purchase of Japanese CG company Dynamo Pictures, which they acquired in July of this year. Alongside anime films and TV shows, Dynamo also worked with Nintendo on projects such as this Pikmin short film you see here. They even revealed the clip that will play before every production. Check it out.
It's me, Mario.
Not bad. I like it. A tattoo artist named Catherine Alexander won a 2018 lawsuit she filed against Take-Two Interactive for including her tattoo designs in WWE 2K video games, specifically her original tribal designs applied on Randy Orton's arms and back. This is pretty significant, especially because Take-Two previously won a lawsuit over a tattoo artist alleging the same for his design showing up on LeBron James, among other stars in NBA 2K. The judge in that case claimed Take-Two had an implied license with the NBA since they have a deal with players over their likenesses. Catherine won $3,750 in damages because a jury determined her designs didn't play a factor in the game's sales. The amount may seem low, but this opens the door to other artists to do the same, so it could get bad for Take-Two and other publishers. Got to see. It looks like 343 Industries is ditching their proprietary slipspace engine for Halo Infinite and moving on over to Unreal. This engine switch rumor was first started by a YouTuber by the name of Sean W. and has since been corroborated by Windows Central journalist Jess Corden and journalist Jeremy Penter, who tweeted, quote, "I can only confirm that many sources are saying this and very clear that it's already been decided and Halo is for sure switching to Unreal." Now, this is still a rumor, albeit a strong one, and it looks to be the right decision maybe. It will make it a lot easier to recruit and hire new employees and contractors, and growing a free-to-play system is all about speed, and it's kind of apparent that something is going on over there at 343 Industries, so Craig approves of this move. Now, let's finish off with a couple of PlayStation stories. According to Bloomberg, PSVR 2 mass production began last month with 2 million units set to be ready by March 2023. It took the original PSVR 8 months to reach 1 million sales, so looks like Sony is getting optimistically aggressive with their launch when it happens early next year. We also found out that the PlayStation 5 has been jailbroken. High-profile mod expert Lance McDonald released this footage of what looks to be a working PlayStation 5 exploit. It's not quite time for Sony to panic just yet, though. It only works on the outdated version 4.03, which was superseded at the end of last year. It's also currently unstable and offers read-write access, but it actually can't execute just yet. Now, according to MP First and corroborated by VGC, Sony is developing a Horizon Zero Dawn remaster for PlayStation 5 alongside a multiplayer game for PS5 and PC. The remastered release will reportedly feature an improved lighting system, overhauled textures, better animations, new character models, accessibility options, quality of life improvements, and graphic modes. The reactions were pretty similar to the announcement of Last of Us Part 1. Why does this game need a remaster when it was released just 5 years ago in 2017 with a 60 FPS patch dropping just last year? The answer is pretty simple.
Money.
It looks like Sony is essentially running the Last of Us play, a remaster of the original game to release alongside a dedicated multiplayer game and a TV series, which is being developed over at Netflix. And gaming Twitter immediately piled on PlayStation over the expected cost of this game being $70 for a remaster that doesn't really seem necessary. And I kind of disagree. If someone out there wants to pay $70 for a game you can play right now on PS5 that looks great and runs at 60 frames for $10, let it happen. I sure as hell wouldn't pay for it. But check this out. Journalist Tony Polanco tweeted, quote, "You already know Sony will charge $70 for the PS5 Horizon Zero Dawn, and that fanboys will say that's justified." And check out this reply. Is there a problem with that? Us PlayStation fans have no problem supporting Sony with their gaming endeavors. A Horizon Zero Dawn remaster is going to sell millions at $70. Heck, we'd pay $80. We just aren't interested in Game Pass fodder. Bro. PlayStation's not going to sleep with you. You got to let it go. Look, Sony is going to sell what their fans will buy. I got no beef with that, even though I feel these resources could be better utilized elsewhere, but obviously no one is forced to buy it. I just don't see how anyone could. I don't know, make such a huge deal out of this. Let's check out YouTube. Okay, so we got this guy from GameSpot slapping his head. A rational response. Okay, what else? Why Sony? Okay. They've lost their damn minds. Is Sony going too far? Another, is Sony going too far? Sony, what are you doing? What the f? The angry face really sells it. Just like this one. Why remake? And my personal favorite, PS5 remake? Now, Gamatsu claims they believe that the Zero Dawn remake is real because it was listed on a PlayStation document they got their hands on, along with other unannounced PlayStation titles. That document was posted over on 4chan, and of course, this is just a rumor, so let's not take this as gospel, but one aspect that makes it a bit believable is there are code names listed, which is common industry practice. Now, for example, you wouldn't find a document that says Last of Us 3 until it was officially announced. Now, the games listed on that report are as follows: Guerrilla Games Horizon Online Game, GAAS, multiplayer PC PS5. So a games as a service, which does line up with PlayStation's current direction. And if they made this like a Monster Hunter type of deal, I could see that selling pretty crazy. Fire Sprite Heartbreak, survival horror PC PS5. Now, Firesprite is the name of a studio that Sony acquired September 2021. They mostly do VR and are the team behind PSVR 2's Horizon Call of the Mountain, so this would most likely be a VR game. Sumo Digital Carbon Open World Multiplayer PS5. Now, Sumo Digital is kind of a gaming OG. They've worked on games like Sonic All-Star Racing, Crackdown 3, most recently Hood Outlaws and Legends, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And for Sony, they developed Little Big Planet 3 and Sackboy: A Big Adventure. So looks like they're partnering with Sony once again. They have a lot of experience with Sackboy, so maybe another take on Little Big Planet? Who knows? Then we have Lucid Games Red Star Vehicle Combat Multiplayer PS5. Lucid Games is the team behind Destruction All-Stars. Now, this has been confirmed by Tom Henderson to be the codename for the upcoming Twisted Metal game, which he says is no longer being developed by Lucid Games, so this document might be pretty old. Then there's Kojima Productions Ocean Open World PS5. Some people are claiming this to be the Death Stranding sequel that was apparently supposed to be a Stadia exclusive that they turned down according to website Google 9 to 5. Then there's Ballistic Moon Bates, which is a survival horror PS5 PC. Now, this was actually sort of leaked last month. Komatsu reported that a motion capture actor's resume listed their company as Ballistic Moon and Sony Interactive Entertainment, and that he was doing motion capture for 2 characters in a game listed as Project Bates. Now, the name Bates is most likely a reference to Psycho's Norman Bates. I don't think this means the game is about Psycho, but probably more indicative of the type of survival horror will be. probably more psychological than anything. And finally, we have London Studio Camden, GAAS, PS5, PC. London Studio are Sony OGs. They were behind the SingStar and iToy games, and most recently the VR hit Blood and Truth. Not really much to go off with a codename like Camden, which is a town in London. I doubt it's referring to New Jersey, but kind of doubt this is a VR game, seeing as it's listed as a games as a service, unless they are working on a VR social hub of some sort. You know, I could see that happening. This team actually also worked on PlayStation Home, so why not? And finally, we got a bit more news for God of War Ragnarok. Insider Gaming reports that it is apparently 40 hours in length, with 20 hours needed to complete the story, filled with 3.5 hours of cinematics. It was also officially rated by the ESRB as M for mature, and part of its script was in there. But I'm going to bleep it out for you guys to avoid spoilers, but the words and are heard throughout the game. And that's it for today. Like it if you liked it, subscribe if you loved it, and check out the Camp Koji podcast every Monday. Peace.